Dear students, parents and teachers, good morning to all. I submit here the plus 2 history English notes of chapter number 2, that is Kings, Farmers and Towns. In this chapter we discuss about the early states and economics in India in between BCE 600 to CE 600, and also discuss about the rise of kings, formation of states and empires, and also we discuss about the economy during this period. Then the features of BC 600. Agriculture settlements were emerged, new towns and kingdoms, Rigveda was composed, increased use of iron, development of coinage, new religions emerged such as Jainism and Buddhism, formation of early states or Mahajanapadas. The Buddhist text Anguttara Nikaya and the Chinese text Vakya Prajapati and Bhavasutra give us the 16 Mahajanapadas existed in India during BCE 600. That is, Angam Ashmaka Avanti, Cheti Gandhara, Kamboja Kuru Kosala Kashi, Malla Malsya Magadha, Panchala Surasena Vajji Valsa. Then features of Mahajanapadas. Most of them were ruled by kings. B. Some of them were ruled by oligarchy republic. All had fortified capitals. All had permanent standing army and bureaucracy. And the last one, Brahmins, the priest class, laid some social norms on kings and people such as Dharmashastras and Dharmasutras. Then Magadhan Empire. By 5th century BCE, Magadha, one of the 16 Mahajanapadas, became a powerful empire by conquering all other Mahajanapadas. Magadha now situates at present-day Bihar. Now we discuss how Magadha became a big empire. A. Ambitious and powerful rulers like Bimbisara, Ajatashatru and Mahapadmananda were ruled Magadha. B. Fertile soil and productivity. C. Availability of iron. D. Ganga and its tributaries provided easy and cheap communication. And last, location of Padaliputra and Rajagriha. Rajagriha, the first capital of Magadha, was situated near hilly region, and Padaliputra, the second capital, situated near Ganga river. 3 dynasties were ruled in Magadha: Haringa dynasty, Nanda dynasty and Maurya dynasty. Now we discuss about Mauryan dynasty. Mauryan dynasty was founded by Chandragupta Maurya in BC 321. The other important rulers of Mauryan dynasty were Bindusara, Ashoka. The sources which help us to understand about Mauryas from Indica of Megasthenes. Megasthenes was the Greek ambassador to Chandragupta Maurya's court. Then Arthashastra of Kaudilya or Chanakya. Kaudilya or Chanakya was the minister and advisor of Chandragupta Maurya. Then Mudra Rakshasa of Vishagadatta. Then Buddha, Jaina, Purana literature. Then inscriptions of Ashoka. Then Emperor Ashoka and Ashoka-Dhamma. Ashoka was the greatest ruler of Mauryan Empire. His ruling period was BC 273 to 232. In BC 261, Ashoka made a big war with Kalinga, the present-day Orissa. In this war, lakhs of people were killed. As a result, Ashoka became a proponent of Dhamma and non-violence. He adopted or accepted Buddhism. Then Ashoka followed Dhamma policy or Dharma policy. The points of Ashoka Dhamma: A. Respect to elders, teachers and parents. B. Generosity towards Brahmins. C. Treating slaves, servants kindly. D. Respect for other religions and traditions. To propagate these Dhamma ideas, Ashoka sent officials named Dharma Mahamatras into different parts of his empire. Ashoka suggested his followers to propagate his Dhamma ideas in various parts of his empire, and also suggested to inscribe his Dhamma ideas on rocks, stone, metal, pillars, etc. These inscriptions were known as Ashokan inscriptions. We can see these Ashokan inscriptions in 39 parts of the Indian subcontinent. They are major rock edicts, minor rock edicts, pillar edicts. Now we are going to discuss about inscriptions. Inscriptions are writings engraved on hard surfaces such as stone, metal, rocks, pillars, caves and pottery. The study of inscriptions are known as epigraphy. Most of the Ashokan inscriptions were in Prakrit language. Some inscriptions were in Aramaic and Greek language. The Ashokan inscriptions in Prakrit language were in Brahmi and Kharoshthi script. Now we discuss limitations of inscriptions. A. Letters are not clearly engraved, so we cannot understand fully. B. It may sometimes damaged. Letters may be missing. C. Cannot understand the exact meaning of words. D. Not recorded political and economic events. Inscriptions were only the viewpoint of those who commissioned it. Then the decipherment of Ashokan inscriptions. Ashokan inscriptions were in Prakrit language and Brahmi and Kharoshthi script. Brahmi and Kharoshthi script was deciphered by James Prinsep, an officer of Mint of English East India Company in 1838. Most of the major Ashokan inscriptions mentions only Piyadasi, meaning pleasant to behold, and Devanapriya, meaning dear to gods. The name Ashoka was mentioned only in some minor rock cuttings. James Prinsep tried to understand who is Piyadasi and Devanapriya. For this purpose, James Prinsep compared Brahmi and Kharoshthi script with Buddhist texts during that period. Then James Prinsep understood that the name Devanapriya and Priyadasi mentioned in the inscriptions were Ashoka. The decipherment of Brahmi and Kharoshthi script was a big revolution. As a result, the 19th century historians reconstructed ancient Indian political history, that is 3rd century BCE. Then we are going to discuss about Mauryan administrative system. A. Central administration. King was the supreme power. King exercised executive, military and judicial power. King was assisted by a Mantri Parishad. 5 major political centers of central administration: Tosali, Suvarnagiri, Padaliputra, Ujjaini and Taxila. B. Provincial administration. Empire divided into many provinces. It was ruled by governors or kumaras. Provinces again divided into district. Head was Tanika. Officials were Rajukas. Districts again divided into villages. It was administered by Gramika. C. City administration. 30 members council was administered by the city administration. Council divided into 6 committees of 5 members each. These 6 committees handle industry, craft, foreigners, birth and death registration, trade and commerce, manufactured goods and taxes. Then D. Army. Army had 5 branches: infantry, cavalry, elephants, chariots and transport. Each branch looked after a committee of 5 members. Armament chief was known as Ayudha Garadhyasha. Navy was also included in the Mauryan military power. E. Revenue. Revenue collected from different channels. A. Land tax. Either collected in cash or kind. Land revenue 1/4 of the gross production. Besides land tax, people had to pay customs duty, excise duty, license fee, income from forest and mines. F. Judiciary. King was the supreme power of the judicial department. 2 types of courts mentioned in Arthashastra. First one, Dharmasthya, courts of personal disputers, and the second one, Kandakashodan, disputes between individual and state. Minor offences were punished by imposing fines. Severe crimes were given death punishment. Then we are going to discuss about post-Maurya period. After the decline of the Mauryan Empire, different political powers ruled in different parts of India. In South India, Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas were ruled. It was mentioned in Sankam texts. In northern India, central India, and northwestern India, Shatavahanas, Shakas, Kushanas, and Guptas were ruled. Between BC 2nd century to CE 2nd century, in central India and northwestern India, Shatavahanas and Shakas ruled. Shaka ruler Rudradaman rebuilt Sudarshana Lake. The Junagadh inscriptions also belongs to Rudradaman, the Shaka ruler. Kushana rulers ruled central India and northwestern India in between BC 1st century and to CE 1st century. Kushanas were also known as divine kings. Kushana kings adopted a title Devaputra, means son of God. Colossal statues of Kushana kings have been discovered at Mathura in Uttar Pradesh and Afghanistan. Then we discuss about Gupta Empire. Guptas ruled North India in between CE 335 to 455. Guptas may be the subordinate branch of Kushanas. We understand Guptas from literature, coins, and inscriptions, and also understand them from Prashasti inscriptions. The important rulers of Gupta Empire: Srigupta, Chandraguptan I, Samudragupta, Chandraguptan II, and Skandagupta. Chandragupta II was a patron of arts and letters. He is also known as Shagari Vikramaditya. The great 9 scholars, that is Navaratnas, lived in his court. Kalidasa was a great among Navaratnas. The Chinese pilgrim Fahian visited during Chandragupta II. Prashasti inscriptions are the inscriptions for praising kings. Example, Prayag Prashasti or Allahabad pillar inscriptions composed by Harisena, the court poet of Samudragupta. Prayag Prashasti describes the military achievements of Samudragupta. Some historians call Samudragupta as Indian Napoleon. Now we are going to discuss about some economic features of between BC 600 to CE 600. First one, strategies for increasing agricultural production. A. Use of iron-tipped plowshare. B. Transplantation of paddy. C. Irrigation through wells, canals and tanks. And D. Hoe agriculture. Then land grants. Land granted to Brahmins, temples and monasteries were known as land grants. Land grants started by Shatavahanas. Land granted to Brahmins were known as Agrahara. Women had no right to grant land, but some inscriptions mentions Chandragupta's daughter Prabhavati Gupta, who married to Vakataka kingdom, had made land grants. Then towns and trades. By BC 6th century, many towns were emerged in India, capitals of Mahajanapadas. And also, Padaliputra was a riverine route, Ujjain was a land route, Puhar was a coastal route, Mathura was a political, cultural and commercial city. Guild system was the another feature of towns. Then coins and kings. The study of coins is known as numismatics. Punch-marked coins made with copper and silver was the earliest coins in India. It was issued by kings and merchants. The first coins bearing the names and images of rulers were issued by Indo-Greeks. Gold coins first issued by Kushanas, but pure gold coins issued by Guptas. Coins issued by tribal republic in Punjab and Haryana, that is Yodhayas. Roman coins have been discovered in South India. It connects the relation between Indian and Roman trade. Then we discuss two terms. First one, Gahapati. Gahapati was the owner, master or head of household. He exercised control over women, children, slaves, workers. But in some Pali inscriptions, Gahapati means small persons and large households. The next term, votive inscriptions. It means to record gifts made to religious institutions. പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളെ, രക്ഷിതാക്കളെ, ഈ വീഡിയോ തയ്യാറാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ പരീക്ഷ എഴുതുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള ഒരു സഹായി എന്ന നിലയിൽ മാത്രമാണ്. പാഠഭാഗത്തിൻ്റെ ആഴങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഈ നോട്ട് സ്പർശിക്കുന്നില്ല. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ നോട്ട്സുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടുണ്ടാകുന്ന സംശയങ്ങൾക്ക് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ചരിത്ര ക്ലാസ് എടുക്കുന്ന അധ്യാപകനുമായിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കൂടുതൽ ചർച്ച ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണ്. എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.